two choices. You can either be younger or look younger temporarily. I'd much rather be younger. At almost 47 years old, I have yet to inject my body with anything. I don't think I'll ever will, because I trust in the advent of science in the longevity sphere, and I've been watching, reading. I read about a book a week, and then of course that coupled with my 28 years as a skincare expert specializing in sensitive skin, I got the scoop and I can help you look younger and be younger from the inside out. When you're injecting Botox and fillers, you're temporarily looking younger at the cost or at the potential of looking much, much older later, because you're injecting foreign substances into your body that are not going to be serving you. They're going to cause all kinds of lumps and bumps, and there's Botox resistance and all kinds of issues, which I talk about often. But right here and today, you will be learning how to start age reversal. Many leaders in the longevity space, researchers such as Harvard professor and researcher David Sinclair is now, I think, 20 or 30 years younger, and they can measure that with the length of his telomeres. Dr. Mark Hyman, Dave Asprey, there are so many at the forefront of this movement, and what I'll be teaching you is my adaptation of those techniques and those strategies and modalities to skincare. So once you start applying some lifestyle changes, sometimes they're so simple, you'll start seeing that the skin becomes more taut, more clear, tighter, more collagen, and so on and so forth. So in this video, let's talk about the strategies that I applied myself to reverse aging on my neck. I'm going to be 47 next month. My sister actually noticed when I was 43, so it's been 4 years now. I remember I visited her and she said, "What happened to your neck?" And I hadn't even realized, because I had just gone through a divorce. It was one of the most stressful times of my life, and I wasn't paying attention to my skin, and you know, stress really always does it for me. So anyways, I started showing really advanced signs of aging. I couldn't find that many pictures, but the ones I found I will post right here, so you can see the difference, the before and after. So now my neck is much tighter, much firmer, and that's because of 3 different strategies. If you're new here, my name is Nadia Ben-Shakroun. I am the founder of the beautydoctrine.com, home of functional beauty. I'm kind of liking the new t-shirt. And so functional beauty is a new principle that I founded and I created, and that is where I merge, skincare, diet, supplements, and of course, staying on top of the latest and greatest science in the longevity sphere to make our lives easier and to age better, healthily, without introducing all these foreign toxins that we're surrounded with into our bodies, which sometimes can have an immediate positive impact. So a lot of us look to fillers and Botox and lasers and all kinds of things to give us that immediate gratification, but we really are causing scarring in the skin. We're introducing, increasing that toxic load. There's just so much that can happen as a side effect to these substances that we don't necessarily see right away. So like I said before, at 43 years old and having been in the beauty industry since I was 18 years old, I had never used any tools on my face up to that point, to 43 years old. And I say this to tell you that it's never too late. So I get a lot of clients that see signs of aging in their 20s and 30s and they think it's too late. No, it's never too late. If you can reverse at 43, you can reverse at any age. So the first time that I actually experimented with red light therapy was at 43, and I could see phenomenal results in 2 months, and that led me to research even deeper. So I spent months and months going through all the studies, anecdotal evidence, learning everything there is to know about red light therapy, and I can tell you it is, in my view, the very best tool that you can have in your toolkit to de-age your skin externally, but also boost your collagen, boost hair growth, help with joint pain. It's phenomenal. So that is the first modality that I applied to help reverse aging around the neck area. So keep in mind that when my sister made that comment, I kind of was alarmed, so I was trying everything. But I really truly think these are the three things that helped the most. So red light therapy, I wrote a bunch of blogs about it. I have links down below for my very favorite device, which is on my website. You have to be very careful what device you use because a lot of them can be harmful to the skin. Every once in a while, I'll get one of my followers on TikTok saying that red light therapy caused them to have hyperpigmentation or increased redness or broken capillaries. And that is when you're using either a cheap device that's poorly made, one that emits some type of heat, or you're overusing it. I know a lot of people start seeing results and then they overdo it, and that's a huge mistake because you can actually cause damage and reverse a lot of the improvement that you had before. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about red light therapy, but I will link up a video where I teach what to look for. It needs to be FDA cleared, non-thermal. It compares panels versus masks that you wear directly on the skin. It goes into how long you should be using red light therapy and all of that. So you can find that video. It's not very long. It's probably 10 to 15 minutes. It'll be linked up. But I just wanted to highlight that red light therapy was life-changing in my age reversal journey. The second strategy that I adopted at the same time as red light therapy is consuming collagen. So before 43 and before my sister's comments, I had never considered collagen because I always felt that I had a fairly good diet. My skin was doing great until I started seeing that sudden loss of elasticity. And I'm sure that a lot of that loss of elasticity, of course, I know I attribute that to stress, but also to being perimenopausal. I'm sure there is some decline in estrogen, which, as we all know, is directly correlated to decline in collagen. And so I started looking into different collagen powders, testing different ones, and I landed on marine collagen, and I started taking that religiously. And by that, I mean at least one serving a day. So every single day I take one serving in the morning in my coffee, and then most days I'll have a second serving in the afternoon when I do like a matcha latte or moringa latte. I blend some collagen in there. The third strategy that I adopted is what I ended up calling later the Beauty Doctrine method of application. And that is I know it's going to sound really weird, but stick with me. I skipped moisturizer completely. And so I went straight for serums. So because of my background in the beauty industry, I have a deep understanding of formulations, right? And so if you think of a moisturizer's composition, it is a blend of water and oils mixed with some added things, right? So you have preservatives, you have emulsifiers, thickeners, whatever it is, just to enhance the texture formula. And then of course you have added actives, maybe you have peptides or other ingredients. But as far as the major components of a moisturizer, it's going to be water and oil. And in the oil category, including butter, so there's shea butter, cocoa butter, stuff like that. And so instead of applying one product that has it all together, very often will sit on the surface of the skin. These moisturizers can be really thick. It's the same way when you think of maybe, I don't know, Vaseline or a lot of these moisturizers that are very emollient, and you feel them. And I've noticed this so much in my career interfacing with thousands of consumers. You apply a moisturizer and your skin feels great and it looks great for the day, but then you wash it off at night and you're back to square one. You haven't really seen an improvement because you're just temporarily having the illusion of moisture versus actually moisturizing the skin from the inside. And so I wanted to maximize what my skincare could do for me. And so I decided that I was not going to use moisturizer, but I'm going to still get those two really important elements. So water addresses hydration or lack thereof, and oil or butters address moisture in the skin. And so I wanted those to go deeper into the skin. And so that's how I came up with my method of using serums alone and like just waters. So things that are very thin. So I wanted all of those ingredients to go deep into the skin. So when you go with the serum, what you get in is a much higher concentration of active ingredients than a moisturizer, but also it's a really thin texture that's able to penetrate much deeper. It's not gonna sit on the surface of the skin. So the only thing that I allow to sit on the surface of the skin is sunscreen, and that's where it belongs. So I use a physical block. So I have mineral sunscreens that I use, and I want them to stay on the surface to protect my skin versus, absorb. So I hope that this makes sense. So this is the strategy that I've adopted, and my skin has improved drastically. So first step always in my skincare routine is going to be some type of mist. So it needs to be a mineral mist, a hyaluronic acid mist. Hyaluronic acid is essential. You cannot improve the skin, you can't plump it from the inside out if you don't use a humectant, which is going to hold that water, retain it within the cell, and then actually even plump it up. We're really limited on the type of humectants that are out there, or the choices. So you have glycerin and then you have hyaluronic acid. So make sure you have both in your skincare routine, but more importantly, hyaluronic acid, it'll do a trick. You'll see a really notable improvement in the look of lines and wrinkles. Like I said, it pushes that wrinkle from the inside out and makes the skin look a lot more hydrated when you use the right one, obviously. I've tried, let's say, ordinary hyaluronic acid. It is terrible. So it's like sticky and goopy. That's not going to go into the skin. So the entire purpose of my method is actually to have serums that are able to absorb. If you apply serum and you feeling it on the surface of the skin, it is not a good serum. You need for your serum, especially when it's hyaluronic acid, to just disappear in your skin. You just want to apply it and you want it gone. And that means it's going to go in and actually start working. It's going to plump that skin from the inside out. And so you apply your mist, then you can follow with a hyaluronic acid serum, and you can apply the mist again, because I call it feeding the hyaluronic acid. So hyaluronic acid acts like a sponge. So it can start out really, really tiny, but then when you spray it with a lot of water, it's just going to continue to expand to a certain point, obviously. And so for those days that I really take time with my skin, I'll do my first mist to start. That's my first step. Second step is going to be some type of serum that has a good amount of hyaluronic acid that's low molecular. So I don't want those thick molecule ones, because again, I want to ensure that it absorbs into the skin. I'll give it another spray. So I'd like for the skin to be completely damp when I follow up with my oil-based serum. And the reason being, obviously when you, let's say you have water, let's pretend my hand is damp. Well, let's actually not pretend, let's dampen it. And so, so I'm going to apply, water on the skin, right? So I do that for the face, and then immediately I'll go with an oil. So what this does, it's going to prevent that water from evaporating, because our skin is very slow in its capability to absorb water. Otherwise, if you're sitting in a jacuzzi or swimming, you'll fill up with water. It doesn't happen, right? Because our skin is made up of fat, and it absorbs fat much faster than it absorbs water. And so when you kind of layer in this fashion, you have your water-based products first and then your oil. So now it's ensuring that water that's underneath this oil has nowhere to go. So it stays under and it's going to absorb. And so when you do this simple method, this is so much better than applying any moisturizer out there. Obviously, the oil will have to do with your needs, your skin needs. So an oil that I would recommend for oily skin is going to be different than I would for dry skin or menopausal skin or combination skin or whatever. So there are, like, my top choices, you'll be able to find them on the beautydoctrine.com. But it's important that when you're selecting the oil also, that you're selecting ones that are in dark bottles. So we want to do this right. So it's not about just the texture, but it's about the type of product that you're using. You don't want it to be rancid. Oils can go, can deteriorate, they can oxidize from light and also from air. So you never want to leave that oil just open on the counter. You don't want to buy them. I don't like buying oils in like large containers because again, their shelf life is shorter. So I want it to be fresh. I want it to be in a duck bottle, use it quick and move on to the next one. A lot of us have become skincare junkies. And so don't be that person that buys everything. If I have one, I'll use this up in maybe a month and a half. But if I have 5, that means it's gonna last me up to a year, maybe depending. So skincare junkies, I feel, always end up just using old rancid products. Unless they're using conventional products, so like all the mainstream products that are high in fragrances and preservatives and all of that type of stuff. So those, they're dense in preservatives, which are destructive for your skin. So when I say shorter shelf life, that's, you know, considering that you're purchasing cleaner formulations that don't have really high amounts of preservatives, which in turn really mess up your microbiome. All right, so that's the method. It's that simple. So it would be this. You see how it's gonna like look. I didn't blend too much, but your skin will actually look really, really moisturized and will retain that moisture. The oil is able to absorb 100% into the skin. The reason it's still there is because I applied a thick layer, but I'm dry. It's gonna continue to absorb. And then I finish with SPF in the day. At night, I'll do something like an occlusive, so like a thicker, I'm looking around to see if I can spot Skin Savior here, but I don't have it. So if for somebody that's really dry like myself, I would use a balm. And a balm is an oil based moisturizer. There's no water in there, so it really seals the deal and holds that moisture in the skin throughout the night. And at night is typically when we get really dry and dehydrated, as we're losing that moisture all night. So it's about trapping that moisture in. That's the method. For the neck specifically, there is no need ever to use heavier moisturizers because the neck does not need a lot of moisture. The neck needs lighter formulas that have peptides that will help kind of tighten and lift. Anything that's thick is going to just drag that neck down. It's already been pulled by gravity, and so we want to always be tightening, lifting with the lightest formulas possible. I'm going to link up my entire routine with my recommendations of the 3 steps that I just mentioned. So collagen is huge, red light therapy, and then a skincare routine that is designed to absorb, that's packed with actives. And when I say actives, I'm not talking all these exfoliants that are going to irritate and peel the skin off. No, I'm talking about actives that are going to support your skin in staying plump and healthy, like hyaluronic acid, like peptides. So all of these are going to be non-sensitizing. So again, I'm going to link up my entire routine with a description of what I do every day to take care of my skin. And it's really very, very simple. And I know you probably hear this message all the time. You need to do the 10-step routine, 20-step routine, all of that. You absolutely don't need. You're just introducing all kinds of fillers and preservatives and things that are harming your skin. And so when you buy a product, just know you're not just buying the active ingredient, you're buying an entire formulation. Very often it has an average of 50 ingredients, believe it or not. I was looking at products from Creme de la Mer, and I counted the ingredients and they had 150 ingredients in one product. So imagine if you're using 10 different products, that's insane. So trust me, you're not helping your skin by introducing a ton of different ingredients that very often are just clashing and many are really not doing much for your skin. So let's keep it really simple, let's keep it clean, and let's keep it light. I cannot wait for you to apply these strategies and come back and let me know how you do. I want to hear from you. I cannot wait for the feedback. Till then, be well, be safe, be beautiful. Take care.